Hello, darling.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Nice to see you.
Mr. Conway Twitty.
It's been a long time. You're just as lovely as you used to be.
I figured we'd get the Conway Twitty out of the way early today. Good morning.
Oh, Conway Twitty.
Morning, Groove. How you doing, my brother?
Groovy, man. How you doing today?
I'm excellent. This is about last night. I am joined by my brother from another mother, the Groovinator, this morning.
Hey, I rock your world.
Oh, shit. Lawanda's on this morning. Woo, 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 woo.
Whoa, whoa. I know you're trying to play hard to get.
We were talking about A Living Color a little bit last night, and damn, that show was just ahead of its time, man.
I have actually had that on my Amazon shopping list. Like, I want to buy the DVD set of that show because it's never on when I want to watch it. And when they show it on TV, it's always like time compressed.
Yes.
Like, I actually enjoy some of the musical acts that they had on there because I used to listen to a lot of those groups. So
Yep.
it's like they always speed that up real fast, you know, to get through it so they can get to the next show. And it irritates me.
Yeah, I don't much care for them, you know, skipping over, because those were some of the best. I mean, the comedy was awesome on that show, but I mean, you can't.
Dude, my dream, if we can ever build these channels up enough, is to do sketch comedy strictly for YouTube, just to like write jokes and sketches based on crap going on in the world and exaggerate it, and right, you know, I did. That's how Letterkenny got started. So
yeah, that and from what I've seen of that show, I mean, it's funny. It looks pretty funny.
God, it was hilarious. I marathoned 7 seasons of that show and enjoyed pretty much every minute of it. I think the last season was the weakest. It was like directly to Hulu for the last season. The first 6 were on YouTube, and then those first 6 you can get on DVD. But season 7, I'm not saying season 7 is bad. It's just compared to the other seasons, a little light. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't like I said, I don't have Amazon, or I'd probably
well, you and I watch a lot of sitcoms, so you know that after about 6 seasons of any show, you start feeling a little bit of a, you know.
Yeah, where is this? Where is this?
Have we done everything? Yeah. Where can they go now?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Can we take this somewhere else, or are we just going to be treading water?
No, dude. The writing on that was just brilliant. I mean, I appreciate any sitcom that can take something filthy and make it look like a work of art.
Yeah,
because it's a very filthy comedy. You know, it's proud. It takes pride in its filth, but it treats its filth like George Carlin treated his filth. Like, this is genius level filth. You know.
Yeah, you can't. And that's, I appreciate that kind of comedy when it's done right.
Hell yeah.
And from what I've seen of that show, they kind of nail it.
Oh God, yeah.
Because I've watched a ton of YouTube clips, from that, and it is funny.
The YouTube shows all the best bits, and you know, it's like they have situations on that show, but the real star of the show is the dialogue. It, you know, just all the diatribe and all the euphemisms that they use on there, and it never gets old. And there's that ongoing bit. You know, I watch a lot of hockey. I'm like a huge hockey fan, so I know a lot of that terminology. In fact, I just watched Slapshot the other night just because I felt like it. But you know, there's this ongoing bit where they have hockey players on that show, and they're always what they call chirping at each other. You know, like smack talk.
Yes,
and it's fucking poetry on that show, man. Just beautiful. Oh my God.
Yeah, one of my favorite clips I've seen thus far is I don't know any of the characters' names, but it's the 2 guys are sitting there by the produce stand, and the 2 guys pull up in the Jeep, and the one of them's their hockey player. And one's dating the guy's sister, and he's like, "You want to fucking fight?" And he takes his shirt off.
Yeah, those are the hockey players. The Jonesy and shit, I can't remember. Jonesy. I can't remember the other guy's name right now. I'm not quite awake yet, but yeah, one of them's name is Jonesy, and yeah, they're through the entire show, and then a character later comes in named Shawsy, and Shawsy and Jonesy and the other guy, they can't stand each other, and they're always chirping. It's like, fuck you, Shorzy, your mom, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll just go into this long, had an existential crisis and blah. And like this, the faster they say it, like the more I laugh. I mean, it's just, if you remember all the mama jokes from In Living Color, that's it's like that. It's maybe even better. I don't know.
I do, because I used to write all those down because we used to do that shit at school.
Save those for later.
Oh yeah,
you might need that, right?
Yep, those were, man, because my friends and I used to do that shit, and it was like I was one of the only like people in my class that like watched that show, and so I would make all these jokes in like middle school, that I saw in the show, and people are like, what? But like I do it in class, and like some of the teachers would laugh because they were like, in their early 30s, and they're like, they were watching it. And it's like, holy shit. Well, like I said, the first time I ever did stand-up comedy, I was 10 years old, and I was doing like Arsenio Hall, David Letterman, Jay Leno, and Robert Wool material. And I absolutely massacred an 18-year-old who his entire bit was based on his imaginary friend. So I'm like, this was, oh Jesus, it wasn't even fair, but yeah, it was fun.
It kind of runs in my family too. Like my sister is not one of these people that I've ever really had to defend, because my sister, who's younger than I am, would always get into it with my friends, and like they'd feel like they'd want to pop off some insult to her, and then she'd always have a comeback. Like just always had a comeback going. Yep. And like I would just look at my friends, I'd be like, your funeral, dude, don't piss my sister off, she'll let you have it. And she would say the kind of insults like they'd be like 6 hours afterwards, like, do you really think that my legs look funny when I wear shorts, like that kind of shit, and I just shake my head and be like, I told you not to piss her off.
Yeah, this was not a good idea for you. This is
no
you're going down a path that I can't follow.
I never the only time Big Brother ever had to step in is if somebody hit her below the belt, and then Big Brother would have to come in and say, hey, you are out of line. So
that's oh God. So we're going to talk about Disney Plus right now, because I'm signing up for it. I couldn't do it this morning because I'm not the account manager on my account for Verizon, because we have like Verizon Unlimited. And so I get it free for a year. So I'm going to take advantage of it. And I've avoided every single Mandalorian, because I jumped on Facebook this morning around like 6:30.
You know what? I just noticed this morning. I was looking into that Disney, because I did a Disney Plus video on my channel that
I
talks about how they all got edited.
Yes.
They're editing, going back and editing movies.
Yes.
At the time of this recording, or this live stream, I have like 110 views.
Mm-hmm.
2 thumbs down, 4 thumbs up, which tells me that people are just hate watching it now. But I also noticed that, so I'm thinking maybe I need to do another subject on Disney streaming. And I was looking for news this morning, and I realized that Disney Plus has the original Star Wars movies, the original 6.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like the hockey team, original 6.
Yeah, the original 6.
Yeah, original 6. But original 6 Star Wars movies, the prequels and the sequel, well, the prequels and originals, and 4K UHD.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you, do you have a 4K TV, or?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
Damn it, because I want somebody to watch those and tell me that they look any different. Because I noticed that some things that are in 4K UHD don't really show that much of an improvement, and then some is like, wow, it's like watching a different movie.
Yeah, I don't. My TV is actually probably I think probably 5-6 years old.
This one's about 2, and mostly because I'm a gaming nerd, so I had to have a 4K TV.
I would get a better one, but my wife is like not. I don't know. She's like, it works, so we're not getting a new one.
The other thing with TVs, man, is Best Buy and all them have made it harder to get rid of your older TV. It used to be you could dump your TV off somewhere or donate it, and they'd recycle your old electronics for you. And Best Buy no longer does that. And you can't throw your TV in the. I don't know how it is where you're at, but here in Florida, you can't just put your TV at the curb. Like, the garbage men won't take it.
Ours would. They basically like take anything.
Well, it used to be when I lived in Joliet, you could put any shit out on the curb, and there'd be
Yep.
like dudes in trucks driving around, and they just
Oh, that's
grab that shit.
yes.
Now this snooty little neighborhood that I live in, they don't do that shit. If you put something out at
Okay.
the curb, it will sit there all week. Nobody will touch it.
Yeah, see where I lived before, I was in like kind of a neighborhood like that. We were on like a cul-de-sac, and there was
Yeah.
only 12 houses. So yeah, unless you're having a garage sale, you couldn't really do that.
Yeah.
But like here where I am now, it's it's like more just a regular average neighborhood. But yeah, it's like waste management. They'll come by and they'll take anything. It doesn't even have to be in your garbage can.
No, yeah, here it's you gotta it's gotta be in the recycling bin, and if
Yeah.
anything's hanging out, they're not gonna take it.
Yep, we had because we had like before we had it's like city here, but before there we had it was a private trash removal company, and yeah, they were pretty strict on what they took and like weights and things like that. Like I had to I actually went out because I got to know the trash man pretty well. He was a younger kid, so I got to I took out some stuff right after we moved. And I said I had boxes on box. I says I'm not going to break all these down. I said, here, man, here's $20. I'm like, he's like, oh, dude, you don't have to do that, but all right. I was like, here, just take. So he threw them all in the truck for me, and I did that a couple times when I was moving. I had some bigger stuff that I wasn't going to take.
The best way to get rid of old tech nowadays is just go on Facebook Marketplace and sell it for as cheap as you possibly can. If you really want to get rid of it, don't give it away for free. Because people think that there's something wrong with it. Like,
Yes.
it must be cursed, or it's
Yep.
broken, or some shit like that. If I take it for free, why would they be giving this away for free? So just what I do is I'll just type in that item and see whatever people are selling it for, and then try to go lower. Like knock $10 off just to have the lowest one, and then I'll get rid of that shit by that afternoon. But yeah, getting rid of your old tech, man. Getting rid of your old TV. That's the worst part. It's like your first thing is like, can I stick this in another bedroom or give this to a loved one?
Yep.
Or but you used to, that's why I'm frustrated with like Best Buy. They're always trying to sell you new TVs. It's like, but they don't give you any provisions to get rid of your old one. Like if they would even put in the ad, hey, we'll take your old TV off your hands, maybe even give you a discount if you trade that in towards this TV. They don't, they should do shit like that, but they don't. So
No, they do not. Hey, Darth Tico is in the chat. Good morning, Darth Tico. How are you?
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We're talking about creative ways to get rid of your garbage and old televisions.
We descended into that, but yet here we are.
I would take if when I say when we get a new TV, because I've been working on that one for a while. We're going to I'm going to take the one in my den is like, it's the first TV we ever got when we moved in together. It's like a 32-inch flat screen, which I just use it for playing PlayStation on right now. The whole hour I get to play a week.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
That's everybody's like clowns me because I have two N64s and a PlayStation 2, but I'm like, I don't have time to ever play games. I'm like, I last night after the stream, I got everything straightened out, and it was like midnight by the time I sat down, and I try to play a game of Madden, and I wake up and it's like first down and 90 yards to go because I fell asleep with the controller in my hand.
I still have, like, I used to have PlayStation 4, okay, and I still have the app on my phone, the PlayStation app, and I'm still connected with my old clan because I like those guys. I joke around with them, but I stopped playing with them because I got bored playing Destiny. It's like that's the only game, Destiny 2. They just play that all day long for hours and hours and hours, doing raids and all this kind of shit. And I just got bored with that game. I just didn't want to deal. And plus, since I became a YouTuber, we ain't got no freaking free time anymore. You know, so you're constantly trying to figure out how to grow your channel, and that doesn't leave a lot of time for you to do anything. So I had my PS4, and I realized that I hadn't touched that thing in like 6-7 months, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, all this thing does is collect dust, because it's like if you have a PS4, you have to have two controllers, because one controller always goes dead like within 3 hours, because they got that wireless crappy battery in there and that stupid light on it that you can't turn off, which doesn't get used for anything. And so I had this little bullshit charger, and then these controllers shoved into it, sitting on top of the PS4, and then the PS4 was sitting next to my Xbox One X. So, I don't have that much space, man. So it's like I got this shit sitting next to each other, and I got all these freaking controllers sitting around. I'm like, this is just chaos. I'm like, I need to simplify my life. I'm like, the Switch can stay because that thing doesn't take any room at all.
Yeah.
The Xbox is basically my DVD player. That can stay. So that doesn't leave much room for you, does it, PS4? You're out of here. So I just got rid of the PS4, all the games, sold all that shit at GameStop. I'm like, I'm done. I need simplicity here. So the guys are like, well, what'd you do with your PS4? Why'd you trade it in? I'm like, because I don't want to play Destiny anymore. It's like, I miss you guys, but if that's the only way I can talk to y'all, well, that's a conundrum, isn't it? So.
It is a dichotomy. Ugh. No, I like I said, I used to play like online with my PS2 and stuff like that, but I just don't have the time, I
don't have the time, and besides that, I absolutely suck at everything. I'm like the worst. My reactionary times are not what they used to be. I used to be all right at Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. And I remember when I was working at GameStop, man, like when Street Fighter 4 came out, I'm like, man, I'm gonna kick so much ass like I used to with Doll Sim, because they had all the moves were the same, like all the controls were the same. And then I discovered online that I was absolute garbage. I'm like, wow. So either the people that I used to beat the shit out of were just amateurs, or I'm just absolute garbage. It knocked the wind out of me. I used to be pretty good at the NHL games and the Street Fighter games, and now, not so much.
Yeah, that was my thing. I used to play NBA Live online a lot, and it was like, was it 07 was like the last year I really played online. And my thing was like, I was really good at that game because one of my boys...
dude, wasn't 07 back when they still had like they had multiple sports games? It wasn't just EA dominating the entire sports market. Like they had the 2K games and
they still had the 2K up to there.
So you had competition, which I always say competition, breeds excellence, because people are striving for your dollar. They have to make a good game in order for you to to compete for your dollar. They have to bring that level of excellence to the game to compete for your money. Now the EA just owns all of these sports. They can literally just reprint the same game every year and change out the rosters. Must be nice.
That's all they do.
And sell it for $60 every single year. Plus, $100 if you get the dumbass pass and the fucking extra bullshit that they put with it.
And that's another thing that's really a turnoff about the gaming industry now.
Oh my god,
everything,
so bad.
Everything is like, oh, you got to have downloadable content. And
it's so bad. There's like 3 fucking tiers for every single video game that's out. I can't keep up with it, dude.
Yep,
I can't.
And I
refuse.
I watch my boys that are still gamers, that I know that I still hang out with, and it's like, I don't know. You don't like physically have these games,
No, you don't. First of all, you don't physically own them, which is shitty, because it's especially.
Fuck that.
And that's one of the reasons I quit playing Destiny. It's like they can go in. The people that run that game, you're paying for. You're paying the same amount of money as you would for any other game, $60, $100, whatever's dumbass sucker edition that you buy that year, and then they can just go in and change the landscape of the game.
Yeah.
Like they'll take, one set of guns and they'll lower the stats on them and make them a little weaker in combat. And I'm like, I have no control over the products that I'm buying.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And that's why I made that video yesterday, because it's like, streaming is good for some things. Like, you don't have to have all this physical stuff sitting around. I get that. But you don't own your content. You're paying money for products that they can tell you, well, you like this now.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't like that. I don't like somebody telling me what I'm supposed to like. It's like I buy the things that I like. I don't want somebody telling me what my interests are going to be. And there's a lot of that going on in the landscape right now, and it frightens me.
Oh, well, speaking of that, and I can correlate that to kind of Star Wars before we go back and talk about Disney Plus a little bit. So I was telling you last night about that thread on IndieWire about saying that the Rise of Skywalker is going to be more Last Jedi than Force Awakens or something like that. And I'm like, what the? So I posted my comment in there, and these motherfuckers are just like the sycophants. Like, they swarm. It's like they always pick like one. And I read through the comments, and I was the only one that used, and I used the screenshot of the Rotten Tomatoes 44% audience score, and I circled it. and oh my god, they are like, I'm alt right.
Oh yeah,
I'm a
here we
man,
go.
baby. Well, one of them and my privacy settings on my Facebook are pretty tight. And so you can't really see, much of anything outside of a few of my, my selected photos and profile picture, but that's it. And so one of them went, and I've got it's a Hulk Hogan with but it's Honkler, the little frog, the clown. And then I've got the Phantom Menace picture, and then John Wayne laughing, and it's a meme I made. It said laughs and toxic masculinity. And so this motherfucker comes back as, I already looked at your profile. You're nothing but an alt-right troll. I'm like, oh please.
Okay.
I was like, please call me a Russian bot. Please call me a Russian bot. So I fired back.
Go ahead, make my day.
Come on, comrade. I'm sitting here drinking vodka, peeling potatoes to make more vodka. I've got beets over here to make borscht.
Nuclear vessels.
Yeah, come on, my friend. Me and Vladimir Putin are coming over to take over. Come on. I mean, it's like, and they're like, still like the one guy's like, well, I went to, and he didn't say it to me, but he said it to somebody else. He's like, well, I went to film school. I'm like,
and I've been looking into going to film school myself, just because I talk so much shit about movies all the time, and it's like pretty much my life. And I'm thinking, if I could get, if I went to film school, it would add to my like credibility a bit. It's like I'd be able to comment on a movie and just to understand how they're made, because I've noticed things, movies I watch, like different camera angles and how to set up that kind of stuff, and direction. I want to know every aspect of it. I do.
Yes.
I'm that fascinated by it because I think I could come up with some decent ideas.
Absolutely.
All the stuff that we talk about, I want to make these movies, man. I'm not talking shit.
We've got a hell of a list of titles, and I'm going to.
I want to do comedy. I want to make people laugh. I'm not trying to come out there and be as Quentin Tarantino or something. Or Martin Scorsese. I want to entertain people. I want to bring the fun back. But
yeah. I think a lot of the movies that we've come up with would be absolutely, if they were developed, would be fucking hilarious.
But what got me into the Phantom Menace is the exact same thing that you're going through on that thread right now. It's like I had to learn. I didn't know what shipping was. I admit,
me either.
I didn't know what this was. I'm like, what the fuck is shipping? I'm like, this is the weirdest dumb thing. I come from. I used to work in warehousing. As far as I knew, shipping was putting shit on a truck and shipping it some other place. You know what I mean? Or that's what I thought shipping was. So once I learned what it was, I'm like, that is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. And this was right around the time that, John Kasdan, it was John Kasdan, Kasdan Jr., not the original Kasdan. The original was Lawrence.
It's Jonathan is his son.
So Jonathan Kasdan was doing his infamous, pansexual Lando crap, and I'm like, so that's another term I had. I'm like, what the hell is a pansexual?
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never heard of such a thing. I'm like, this is what fucking planet am I on? And I looked this stuff up, and I'm like, why is this in Star Wars? I don't understand why we're going through this right now. So I decided to, what do I always do, Pete? I always go into comedy. That's my only self-defense, right? It's like I wrap myself up in a ball, and I just build this defense of comedy around me. And I guess maybe I took it a little too far, because I was putting stuff on my face. This is before I joined the Phantom Menace, right? Before I even knew what it was. I'm putting on my Facebook, I'm like, well, let's just ship all the Star Wars characters, R2-D2 and C-3PO, we're shipping them, we're shipping Han Solo and Carbonite and Boba Fett, God knows what happened in Slave One, right? Let's just ship that too. And I kept posting these things on Facebook like on a weekly level, and people on my timeline were getting offended by it.
Yeah.
And they started calling me names. And I'm like, what? Because I'm making fun of something that I think is stupid. It's like these things did not exist in this universe. Why are they there now?
They don't make any sense.
And then after friends of mine started calling me, alt-right and sexist and all that kind of stuff, I'd never been called those things in my entire life ever until that moment. Maybe I shouldn't have posted those things. Maybe I took those jokes a little bit too far. To me, they were funny because I was so frustrated with just watching my my childhood be splayed out on display and turned into circus animals. You know, I just didn't enjoy that. It was hard enough to deal with. That was my way of coping. And yeah, people that I knew for years and years and years that would have laughed at stuff like this back in the 90s just unfriended me and blocked me out of their life. So I'm like, okay. I guess I lose some old friends. I got to make some new ones, right? And here we are.
Yep. That's it, man. These people are insane. Like my original comment, this is what I said in I said in response to this article was, yes, because we all want another, and I put quotations, and this is exactly how I typed it. Subversive masterpiece.
Make sure you throw the lisp in there. That's
yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it work. Is you got to have that soy lisp.
That soy lisp. And I said, like the last dumpster fire, and people wonder why they can't get good directors to do Star Wars films anymore. And the first comment was, why would I trust audience response? The critic score means far more to me. And let's see. Here's another response. All those downvotes are from crybabies that feel their childhood was ruined. Lame.
Yeah, these are people that are demonstrating they're projecting in front of their friends. That's all the fuck this shit is. All right, these people I've mentioned. I don't think I can mention it enough, Pete. These people don't believe this shit. All right, they don't believe this shit coming out of their mouth. They're caught up in a movement. That's all it is. It's a stupid movement that won't last.
Here's the best one is from this guy who is an associate professor of mass communications and a co-editor of In Transition.
Sounds like a worthless degree to me.
Film scholar, videographic critic.
Oh,
and he says to me, do you even know how film criticism works? They're a bunch of freelancers who don't get health care, a retirement plan, or a steady paycheck. They don't have corporate overlords. The vast minority of film critics get premium access now, and there are few very full-time staff positions. Liz, here's one guy's like, I've looked at your page, and I for sure don't trust you, and he puts in quotations. Let's see. And
do you know what makes somebody a film critic, Pete?
Being able to watch a movie and talk about it?
Yes, being able to articulate your opinions in an entertaining fashion to where somebody finds entertainment in your opinions. That's what makes you a fucking critic. None of your education. I have a journalism background. I went to school probably more years than most doctors. I just don't have any degrees to back it up because I kept changing my curriculum and not finishing the program. That's just something that I've wrestled with for a long time. But I've been to plenty, I didn't go to a fancy, Ivy League college, because I couldn't afford it. I was an average student in high school at best, but I did always express an interest in writing, especially humor, because I had a humor column my senior year, and I was very proud of it, but I did critique movies for 2 different college papers. You just have to be able to articulate what you see and tell people, is this something that you enjoyed? Why did you enjoy it? Why didn't you enjoy it? You can do a review without having to spoil the entire thing. But in the case of, Last Jedi and Batwoman, sometimes you have to tell it just to explain to you how stupid something is. It's impossible to not put those spoilers in there,
Yeah,
otherwise you just say this sucks because wow, you won't believe what happened. So then you go right into the spoilers. It's impossible to not get to that point.
And Batwoman is a perfect example because I spend a lot of time on my reviews for that show, and it's a show I fucking hate. It's like I want to do a review of The Walking Dead from Sunday, and I haven't even had a chance to watch it yet.
But yeah, if you can watch a movie and you can get online and leave a review and tell them what works and what doesn't work, and you do it in a way into which people are entertained by what you have to say, guess what? You're a movie critic. It's that simple.
Yep. But I'm just some idiot who's an alt-right troll.
There's not a school for movie critics. For fuck's sakes, it's so they went to film school doesn't mean they can write. I mean, there's no writers in Hollywood. How do people like Alex Kurtzman keep getting jobs?
Exactly.
His shit is like 5th grade fanfic at best. And he's getting paid big, like millions and millions of dollars for these shitty, awful scripts. Like, how do these people? It's like they keep recycling these same idiots that are script writers. They must just be taking it off the bottom line or something. I don't know. I guess they work really cheap. I don't know.
Well, look at the deal that Secret Hideout, Bad Reboot, and Jar Jar Abrams just
they're
got
the
with Warner
worst,
Brothers.
and it's almost like they've conspired secretly to destroy every single aspect of pop culture there is, so that they can build their own.
Because now this idiot has been in Star Trek, which his Star Trek films are pretty divisive, I would say, at best.
Yeah,
and I'm not a Trekkie.
I guess I am. You and I grew up in that era where anything nerdy was considered, verboten. I mean, you were just ostracized if you were a nerd. So I watched high school all through college, or all through high school. And I had to hide that shit in the closet. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm a closet Trekkie, motherfucker. It's like, I will watch this shit when nobody knows that I'm watching it, but then I have to pretend like it's not cool because, if I let on that I like it, then I'm going to get beat up in high school. That's the era we came from. You just got fucking beat up. Teachers didn't get involved in that shit.
No, that's why I went into sports, man, because I was always a nerdy kid, and I went into sports, and because I'm like, I got sick of getting picked on, so I just went into sports because I was athletic and I liked sports.
I wasn't good at that shit at all. What kept me out of trouble in high school was that humor column I had. I just found something that I thought was ironic, and I would write a human interest story based on stupid shit that people did in high school, and I was proud of that shit. And it got me out of a lot of trouble because people knew who I was.
Yep.
I'd go to the dean's office, and the dean would be like, "What? You're Simply Adam." That was my comic. It was called Simply Adam. They're like, "Why are you in here?" I'm like, "Because my gym teacher's a psychopath." I'm like, "You have to understand. She sends everybody down here." And he's like, "What do you guys do to this woman?" I'm like, "We don't do anything, and neither does she, and that's why we're always here." So.
Yeah. I feel you, Rose Tico. Wait, look at this. Wait, Rose Tico, I'm going to be starting my channel tonight. I'm reviewing The Mandalorian. Well, goddamn, drop a link in the chat or PM me a link so I can share it, Darth Tico. So yeah, that's freaking great. See, another channel springs up. I love it.
There you go. Yeah,
I love it.
It's like we're inspired by bigger channels, and
yes.
then we make some stuff, and then we inspire some people, and that's how this actually works. Now we've talked about this. There are people within this little subculture here that we're in that are the stereotypes that they accuse us of being.
Oh, there are,
but we're not all those people.
No, that's a big thing right now with the Fandom Menace, and you and I have discussed this a lot. Is where where does it stand? Where's it going to go? The direction, and that's the thing.
Some people view it as a hate group, and that's not cool. That's not cool at all. I never thought of it as a hate group, but yes, there are those people within that group, and I ain't mentioning no names at all because I don't do interchannel drama. But there are people that are those stereotypes.
Yep, and that's the thing, man. Is the problem with and we're not like I laughed. That was it, Den of Geek or whatever channel. They were talking about that Gray Order thing.
Gray Order. It's gray water. Shit and piss.
Gray Order. I mean, what the. But it's like that they're trying to like, well, it's a counter to the Fandom Menace, and it's going to be a neutral thing. And I'm like, that in theory it's cool, but at the same time, the Fandom Menace, a bunch of people didn't get together and said, hey, we're going to start a group called the Fandom Menace.
I think it started, the gray water or whatever gray area that you want to call it, gray order. Okay, I'll never not call that gray water because I just my mind instantly always goes to the comedy version of everything.
I'm from Michigan. I'm just gonna call it Flint water.
Right? I can't. Nice deep cut there, but yeah, I'm sure that came from a place of good intentions.
It did.
But
it did.
I see that as something that would get abused really quick.
Yeah, and that's it. They're like it's a place where fans from both sides, that enjoy Star Wars now as it is, and fans that disagree with with what's going on can kind of come together. And that is, like I said, that's what Star Wars used to be. Yeah,
that's the funny part about it. And I didn't think about that until just now. It's like Star Wars used to be a place where people that disagreed on things could actually come together, because like we always had the arguments about the prequels suck or they don't, but deep down everybody was always a Star Wars fan, because most people were alive long enough to remember original Star Wars in some facet,
Yep.
And supported that before the prequels came out. So if you didn't like the prequels, it didn't necessarily mean that you weren't a Star Wars fan. So people would always at least have that common ground. Well, we like those movies, the first three.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't like the prequels, most of us are like, whatever. I mean, they are what they are. I get it. If you don't like it, I'm not saying it makes you less of a fan if you don't like all of these things. I don't necessarily watch all of the cartoons. I just don't, because I'm grown, man. I'm kind of past the cartoon era, in my life. But those were not made initially for adults, so I just didn't feel like they were catering towards me. But at the end of the day, I still do consider myself a Star Wars fan. But I'm a fan of the movies. I'm not a fan of the brand.
That's it too, and it all goes down to what we talk about when we say product loyalty versus brand loyalty.
Right. We're not sycophants,
No, being a discerning consumer against somebody who just consumes blindly. And it
frustrates me that these companies view their customers as just blind consumers like that. And their products reflect that. The weak ass merchandise, the lackluster films that we keep getting.
Well, and then they want to talk shit to you when you don't want it.
Oh my god!
Like,
well, why didn't you support your stuff? I wish it worked like that. The Chicago Bears. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if people just constantly supported the Chicago Bears because they're the Chicago Bears?
I'm a Lions fan, dude. I understand.
For fuck's sakes, it doesn't work like that. It's like, I'm a Blackhawks fan. Do I get frustrated with my team? Fuck yeah, I do. But I mean, I watch them, but that's sports. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, if the game sucks, I'll walk away from it. I'll turn it the fuck off. I don't care. I'm not going to waste my time if they didn't show up to play.
Yeah, I was explaining to my son what, because we're sitting there watching the Lions play the Bears last, and the Lions lost. They managed to give another game away because they're just the Lions, and that's what we do. It's been that way for 60 years. We're fucking terrible. We have great players, but then we just come out and it's like stupid little mental errors because it's a culture within the organization, and that goes to entertainment as well. When that culture is not up to par, it reflects in your product, and the on-field product is a culture of the Detroit Lions and what they've been over. We brought all these people in from New England. New England's a fucking dynasty in the NFL. Like them or not, they're a dynasty. Okay. And people fucking we brought all these people in from New England, a coach and all this and all these ex-players, and it's like they still suck. Well, it starts from the top down. So, and it's that way at Lucasfilm. It's, in Kathleen Kennedy enables these weirdos like Bryant Young, who wants to go out and have fucking explicit chats with, underage girls and get called out on it and then block everybody on Twitter. Pablo Hidalgo, all these fucking just weirdos, Chuck Wendig, who herkily-jerkily got fired as he wibbly-wobbly walked his soy-filled ass out of his office for the last time. Fucking sack of shit. But, I mean, just people like that you want to attack us because you simply say, I don't like the product. Well, you're a goddamn incel. We were talking about looking up words. I didn't know what an incel was.
Back and forth between company, and a lot of it is not necessarily coming directly from KK herself. No. It's just the fact that she doesn't, they don't have any control over their people, and the media illustrates a lot of this shit too. And I will call the media out for this because we're always in the middle of it. All right. Yep. The media likes to take one little thing and then make a story out of that and then turn it into a headline. And then you got websites like We Got This Covered. All right. That's always trying to find the worst case scenario of anything just to get people like you and I to make fucking videos about it. Their whole bread and butter is hoping they can piss us off enough with a headline that we'll make a video based on it. I'm not saying anything against any other channels that have done that. We've done it. We've all used that website at some point, but we've gotten to a point where it's like we're reading between the lines and realizing that there's not much bread and butter there.
No, it's just they throw out words.
It's all fluff. Yeah, it's all fluff. But at the same time, these people need to control their people when it comes to the press. And if they can't control them at the press, then they really need to fucking control them with social media. Because social media has opened this whole fucking can of worms that has destroyed people's lives, and I have a problem with that.
Well, look at what's her name, that little trollop right now, the comic book chick. I don't even want to say her name, but I don't know if you know who I'm talking
Zoe
about.
Quinn?
Yeah, Zoe Quinn. That little. She was responsible for that guy offing himself because she got it, Me Too'd him.
Yeah, Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian. Those are two chuckleheads that have made a career out of cancel culture.
Zoe Quinn took like 80 grand from that Kickstarter and then didn't produce anything or some shit
That
like
was
that.
Anita Sarkeesian.
Sarkeesian,
She took 80 grand from a Kickstarter and created a what was it, Discord channel, which cost nothing.
I was gonna say, I started a Discord when
I have a Discord too. I don't fucking use it, but it's there if I ever need it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but the point is it costs nothing to start a Discord.
Yeah.
So where did the money go?
Yep.
Would you make T-shirts, stickers, lattes? I mean, what?
But yeah, those are but yeah, these and they let these people run wild in the name of, like I said, it was like a lot of it was the Me Too, and then with Sarkeesian, it's the quote unquote gatekeeping bullshit, and that's such an excuse for everything. Is it's gatekeeping, you're gatekeeping. Well, did you ever think that not everybody belongs everywhere? And that's kind of a fucking harsh pill to swallow. But you don't see me trying to insert myself into Star Trek chats or in-depth comic book chats because I don't know the source material a lot of the time. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna pretend that I belong in them.
And some of these actors, stupid. I feel like they get caught up in the moment too. Like a perfect example, I don't think John Kasdan is as stupid as he appears to be. I mean, his script for Solo was awful, though. Okay, so he deserves that criticism.
Yeah.
But when somebody puts you in front of a camera, and they say, or just turns on a tape recorder and says, "Hey, do you think that so and so is a pansexual?" It's like somebody coming up and saying, "Well, who did you vote for?" Like, you think that's all right, right? It's like they're putting you on the spot and they're making you feel uncomfortable, and they're putting you in a position where now if I don't say this thing, then this person that's interviewing me is going to say I'm a hateful, awful person. Okay. Yep. And then if I say that I do support this thing, they're going to jump on and they're going to, either way, they're going to harness that headline just to get hate clicks off of people. And it's shitty, but that's the world that we live in. So Kathleen Kennedy, this is going back to where I was going with this, Kathleen Kennedy needs to control the people under her watch, and she doesn't do it.
Not at all.
And that's why we have all of this bad publicity all of the time. Her people that work for her are out of control. Yep. And Kathleen Kennedy is another one, because every time you're interviewing Kathleen Kennedy, what's she constantly focus on? Well, I hired all these women empowerment.
Yep.
Not, I got a really great story to tell, or we've got some really fantastic actors coming out. We're doing some cutting edge special effects with this particular scene. You don't ever hear any of that kind of stuff that you used to hear with Lucas. Lucas wasn't like, well, I got strong women in my movie. Because back then we weren't focused on that. So when when your focus is on one thing, everything else goes to hell.
Because you like you said, you hyper focus on that singular aspect, and then it doesn't give you any time for anything else. You can't develop everything else properly around it. Like, your world building and your character development is first and foremost. And
I don't know about you, but have you ever had somebody like this? Here's another good example. Like, okay, people you followed for years and years and years, like maybe it was a musician or an actor or somebody like that, and then you got a little bit older and you connected with them on Twitter or Facebook, and then you start reading their posts and you realize what a big fucking idiot they are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've had people like that in your life where you're like, wow, I wish I liked this person when I knew less about them. There's that old saying that says you should never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Oh,
God. Yes, I do.
That's the Twitter sphere. Like, before that, all you ever knew about, you and I, when we grew up, all we ever knew about people is what we read in magazines.
Yep.
And then usually most of that was savagely edited to leave out the gory details, so. And now the media it's the internet has made it to where nobody can maintain the facade that they're trying to, you make one mistake and you don't ever rebound from it. You know, it's like it ends your career instantly if you say the wrong thing. You know, and
Yep.
you and I live in fear of that too. You know, it's like we're trying to build something.
Yeah.
We can't say anything stupid. You know, and if we do, then we have to get right out in front of it and say, hey, you know what, we fucked up here. We maybe went a little too far, and you know we're gonna reel it back. We're gonna make this right.
Yep. And that's it too, you know. And I really, that's especially with dealing with these people online. It's like I really have to be, because like one of the guys went to
They get you going, yeah.
He went to my profile. And he's like, oh well, maybe one day your YouTube channel will have more than 45 viewers. I'm like, what? I'm like, so you this is
gonna say your last Batwoman video alone, I think, had more than that. So whatever, dude. You do you.
the podcast from last night is probably already at like 60 some views.
Right.
I mean, I'm like, I'm not worried about it. Like, that's not how I gauge myself. I do this because I want to. You know, if I can turn it into something, I turn it into something. But
it's a process.
It is, man. It's work. You know, it takes a long time.
You wouldn't do it if you didn't love it. And I don't know how many times you talked me down off the ledge. It's like, God damn, I'm like, I put out content all week. Nobody's looking at any of my stuff. You know, like, what the hell? It's easy to get discouraged, but it's at the same time, do you enjoy doing it or not? You know, it's like, I can't just walk away from it. You know, I like to write. I have opinions. I like to share them. I mean, even before I got into this YouTube shit, when I was in the gaming clan, I was constantly talking to these idiots while we were gaming about movies. And they're like, you know what? You should just like take this shit and do stand up with it. That's how I got into this gig, man. It's like I had opinions that needed to be shared, you know?
Yeah. Oh, same, man. But it's funny because like most of my friends, like one of my, they won't even like hang out with me anymore. He's like, I get sick of hanging out with Siskel and Ebert in one person. I'm like, well, I'm like, this is like my life, dude. I'm like, what else? You know, I'm like, I mean, we can talk about anything, but
I love talking about movies.
I do too.
I do too. I get into the trash and the gossip and all. I mean, I just because it amuses me.
Absolutely.
Especially now that all these people live in such a bubble like they do, you know, and they're so disillusioned with what's going on. I think what frightens me the most about the SJW, and you know, I hate using that term because it's like when you just say the word SJW, just like instantly turns people off, and I can get that, you know, it just like they call it when we hear the word incel, we're like immediately tuned out, you know, it's the same side, but I do feel that most so-called SJWs are not really SJWs. They're hiding behind a facade. They're trying to look better in front of their friends. It's kind of the whole, you know, Hollywood constantly apologizing for the whole Me Too era, which is why they're in this bubble. They're trying to make themselves look holier than thou. Yeah, and it's sad and it's pathetic and it's so not true. It's everything is so fraudulent and fake right now that and you can see through the bullshit. Just in the David and Benny Weiss article alone, we could see through that bullshit. It's like those dudes probably said, "Hey, fuck this shit, I'm out." And that's what I read out of that article. It's like I can tell when something has been heavily spin doctored. You know, what's the first thing you always hear when somebody quits a band? Oh, well, I wish the band the best of luck. Deep down, you know, they're like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I hate you guys. I'm done. I'm going solo.
It's always like that when I used to watch wrestling, when WWE lets them, we wish them the best in all the future endeavors. That's
bullshit.
Nope, we fucking fired you. Get the fuck out. We're not paying you. We don't want you. That is exactly what that means. We wish them the best in all their future endeavors. We don't give a fuck. We don't have to pay you no more. We don't care what you do now.
And the fact that Benioff and Weiss stuff came out as soon as it did, like you know, that early, you know, with Star Wars looming on the horizon, and I do mean looming. All right, you'll get into that in a minute, but you know, something happened behind the scenes there, especially with KK saying, "Well, they can come back whenever they want to." Yeah, when have we heard that before? You know, I mean, that's the biggest bunch of bullshit there is. Like, come back whenever they want to. There was some bad blood and some disagreements going on there.
Oh, then it turned into...
And it had to be, because how many times has Kathleen Kennedy not gotten along with people famously behind the scenes? She's not a good people person either.
No. For a coffee fetcher, you'd think she would be.
She strikes me as somebody that feels like she has too much to prove.
Oh, yeah.
And
she's definitely got a chip on her shoulder.
Yeah, she's entitled. You know, she has a chip on her shoulder, and it's like, dude, you already have the job. We get it. Can you just, like... focus on steering the ship in the right direction here?
Well, she married him.
I think she thought that the Star Wars ship would just steer itself.
Yeah,
And it did. It steered itself into a fucking, crashed into another planet. Is what happened, and now she can't fix it.
She
And
thought
she's
being
bringing
married
in
to,
people to fix it.
was it Frank Marshall, her husband?
Yes.
She thought being married to a marshal was gonna like just be her ticket to everything, and I mean it's made her very rich. It's gotten her a lot of undue praise for her name being attached to projects that she had nothing to do with.
It's a stepping stone for her, man.
That's
It's
it.
not with Lucas. That was his whole world. He created He created. He's a self-made man. It's like I get so frustrated with George because it's like I admire him and I'm pissed at him at the same time because it's like because of what he did to something that was a huge part of my childhood, man. It's like he doesn't owe me personally, but god damn it, did you have to pick? Could you have picked a better company to sell it to? Couldn't you have at least sold it to Universal or fucking Warner Brothers or not saying that those people are better, but they are better than Disney.
They're
Come
better
on.
than Disney. I mean, it's like ABD.
You're talking about a company.
Disney.
You're talking about a company, Pete, that fucking adds like $5 to every movie they sell just because they're Disney.
Yep.
There's no other fucking reason why. It's like what your Blu-rays are built out of a different material than everything else. Fuck you. You're just putting that because you think you can add $5 more onto a Blu-ray because you think that the Disney logo is worth that much.
Like you said, putting movies in the vault, the Fox properties.
Oh, that shit,
in the vault
put into the vault forever, never
Yep.
come back out. And I'm thinking, bullshit. The first fucking the first new media platform that comes out, they'll bring that back out when they have no more money to make.
Yep. That's it. That's what they do. That's their MO, and it's like it's all about the money. They don't, Disney used to be about fun, and it did, man. It was.
Well, I thought it was supposed to. I think people are still under that facade that it represents like the American family and this family dynamic. It absolutely does not. It is people that have harnessed a brand, just like Kathleen Kennedy has harnessed Star Wars as a brand. It's the same mentality. They just all they view is logos and how much money per capita they can make on that logo.
Yep. If they cared about their customer base and their product, you would have people like Victoria Alonso, who's the president of Marvel, I believe. What is it? She's like the president of Marvel or whatever. Talking about
Marvel has a president,
or I can't remember what it was, but she's like some high up executive.
Can we have
Marvel.
that in president? Can we have that president impeached?
Fingers crossed.
It's like your comic book stores are closing all over the United States. I wouldn't say you're doing a good job. I'm sorry, it's just not showing. All right, it's like I believe in end results, and I'm not seeing them, dear.
She's the one that said that they should change the name of the X-Men because X-Men is outdated. It should be X-People.
Yeah, that's right. I knew that name sounded familiar.
Yep. Yeah, she's like works for like I think I did. I can't remember. I know we talked about it.
On it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what the X? Do you know how many women are in the X-Men?
Are these the important things? I mean, it just I thought X-Men. I didn't believe that X-Men necessarily. They're focused on the word men is problematic now. It's like X-Men refers to as in human. Okay, I mean, like they're ex-human. They're mutants. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to just call them mutants, I guess, but you're also walking away from a year-old recognizable brand, which, as we know, those things make you money. So
Yeah. And do you really want them confused with the New Mutants?
If you change it to X people or X person like that, you've already immediately rejected half your fan base right there. So you have to ask. This is why we are in the fandom menace, man.
Yep.
This is why it won't end until this shit stops. As long as you keep wanting to resurrect these old properties that have people that are attached to and fans, you have to learn how to play in their universe. You have to understand how their universe operates. You have to respect their universe. And you have to respect those fans as people that have made that what it is. You have to give them something that they want. You can't just go in there and harness that brand and then make your own thing and expect that to work. We've seen time and time again where this is not working. Most recently, Dark Fate. Didn't work. Huge drop off from the second week, as if anybody was surprised. And that there's another brand where they went in and they tried to reboot it with their own ideology, you know, and they put in the rampant feminism, and it's there. I didn't make a big deal out of it in my video because I'm just tired of talking about it.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted to focus on, you know, the technical aspects or the story elements that didn't work. You know, I wasn't worried about the outside political ideology going into it because I just assumed that was pretty apparent from their promotional marketing from a year ago.
Yeah, it makes me
the
really...
future is female. All right, we knew they were going to go in with that shit, but I'm like, okay, so if you're going to do that, are you at least going to give me a good story? Nope, we're going to give you the same fucking movie you've seen 2 or 3 times now.
Well, especially when what's his name, Tim Miller, comes out and tells, if you're at all enlightened, Mackenzie Davis will play like gangbusters. But if you're a closet,
you know, that guy just strikes me as such an asshole. You know, he looks like a jock douchebag with a chip on his shoulder. Oh, I made Deadpool, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Ryan Reynolds made Deadpool. Okay, you just had the director's chair at the time. All right, it's still his fucking movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without Ryan Reynolds.
And you know what? They fired him off of Deadpool 2 and fucking nobody noticed.
Nope.
Nobody noticed other than us just covering the headlines. Okay, well, Tim Miller's out, so he must be an asshole, you know, because I'm like, how do you piss off Ryan Reynolds, you know? I mean,
yeah, he seems like...
he seems like a cool dude, man. It's like, he makes me laugh. That guy's been making me laugh for years. How do you piss off Ryan Reynolds? He probably wanted to go woke with it, and Ryan Reynolds was like, nope, I'm here for the fans. Fuck y'all. You know?
Exactly. You know, a movie like that, you can give the fucking people what they want, man.
And they're lucky that they have a guy like Ryan Reynolds that obviously understands that character and embodies that character. Like, he is that character. When I read that comic book, I'm like, this, and then I saw Ryan Reynolds playing him. I'm like, oh, he is that guy. He's perfect. That, like, he gets it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think they could have cast that any better. I don't think that role would have worked with anybody else, really.
No, I can't think anybody else doing that part. And if they recasted him, it would be a disastrous result. You know, you know, it's like I know at some point they're probably going to want to recast, you know, somebody else's Wolverine. But can you think of anybody other than Hugh Jackman at this point? I can't. I mean, I know everybody's got their own ideas, but I don't know anybody that's going to replace Hugh after he's put so much into that part.
I mean, outside of Danny DeVito, no. I think, no, honestly, though, like I was laughing.
At one point, I was actually suggesting Aaron Paul to play Wolverine.
Aaron Paul?
I could see him as...
That's interesting.
Because he, you know, you bulked him up a little bit. He's not like over... Because, you know, that was the thing. Hugh Jackman's this gigantic dude, you know, and in the comic book, he's like this kind of short, hairy little guy, right? You know, it's like... Aaron Paul would be a little bit closer than Hugh Jackman would, but Aaron Paul would also have the voice. You know, it's like, I don't see Daniel Radcliffe doing fucking Wolverine.
No. Nothing against Daniel Radcliffe at all, but no, I don't see that one working out.
You're fine as Harry Potter, but you're not gonna do Wolverine, Bob.
Why don't they just have what was his buddy's name? The redheaded kid.
Hello, Poppet. I'm Wolverine.
Oh.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor. Spitspot. Cheerio. Meeting too, veggie. Oh God, yeah, that wouldn't work too well. Wolverine is not. No, that doesn't sound right. God. No. God damn.
But you know, it goes back to what I'm saying. It's like if you're gonna keep making these things within these universes, you need to pick up where they left off.
Yeah.
First and foremost, don't shit on the fans and don't shit on the stuff that came before it.
Yep.
You know, did you ever see that movie Clash of the Titans, like the newer one, like the remade one?
No,
I saw back in 2009, I think it was. I was excited about that movie. That was before I realized what a dumbass Sam Worthington was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was in that, and you know, Sam Worthington, what was it he did that was like really famous before Avatar? I don't remember. I don't even fucking remember. All right, but he was big shit for a little while in the early 20-teens, right, or 2010s, I should say. And I was excited about Clash of Titans because I remember seeing the original and I loved it. And that was the last movie they made with that like Ray Harryhausen stop motion effects, you know.
Yes.
And it came out in 81 and it was already like extremely dead for the time because this 81, that's like post Star Wars. And they're like, wow, really? We're still doing stop motion? But God, if it wasn't a wonderful movie. I just loved it. So it's like, okay, we're going to remake it. We're going to give it kind of like this 300 type look. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then that movie came out. And there's a scene in that movie where, the original Clash of Titans has that mechanical owl that flies around, Boo Boo.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the remake, they're in a particular area where they find a bunch of weapons, and Boo Boo is just like shoved in a basket, like next to some umbrellas or some shit like that, or some swords. And somebody pulls it out, and they're like, "What's this thing?" And then they just throw it over their shoulder, and it's Boo Boo. And I'm like, you're shitting on the original. Like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like they're basically trying to tell the audience, like, well, that original one is shit. This is the new Clash of the Titans, motherfucker. It's like, you have to realize that there's probably some old farts like me that like the old Clash of the Titans that took offense to that.
Yep.
That's the kind of stuff that they're doing now. It's like they're just going in and just shitting all over the characters. I mean, how bad did Rian Johnson shit all over Luke Skywalker in his fucking new movie? He made it a point to not only kill the character, but kill his legacy as well. That's why we're so angry.
Yep. And
it was all for nothing. It was all so that Rey could lift some rocks, dude.
A perfect example, analogy for this is the episode of The Office where they're in Tallahassee, Florida, opening the Sabre store. And they're letting in all like the hipsters and the bloggers, and the old people start coming in. And Dwight's like, no, get them out of here. That'll kill a product, all these old people. And it's like, that's what they're doing to the Star Wars fans that are fans of the original trilogy. It's like, nope, get the fuck out. We don't want you. Your money's no good. You drag our brand down.
It would be like them going into Cracker Barrel and trying to turn Cracker Barrel into like this like hipster foodie place, with like vegan dishes and shit like that. You imagine how bad that would go over?
Oh God, there'd be revolts. There'd be AARP.
Like, can you imagine like a bunch of vegans going to fucking Cracker Barrel? Dude, it's like drinking craft beer and fucking eating, vegan tacos or some shit like that. It would be disastrous. It's like I always say, can you imagine McDonald's if they decided that meat was problematic and then they just like decided to have vegetarian versions of everything? McDonald's would be bankrupt in a week.
Burger King's trying to do that with that Impossible Whopper. I'm like,
it's okay if you add those things to your menu, but you can't get rid of the original stuff too.
No, it doesn't work like that.
And Disney has tried its damnedest to replace original Star Wars with their products, all the way up to their amusement park, which people don't like that stuff.
Nope. No.
And they know it. They know it now, but now they have to deal with all the money that they dumped into their project. That their science project didn't work. It's something that's going to be studied in film schools, in colleges, at least going to be studied in marketing. Like, this is how not to go into a brand, and if you have brand recognition, brand loyalty, you have to respect that customer base. You have to give them what they want in order to make it work.
Disney's it's going to be like the documentary about Star Wars eventually. It's how to ruin an existing 40-year-old IP in less than a decade.
Well, we talk about it a lot, though, and it's even as much as you would like to say, okay, The Force Awakens was a remake of A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, that was probably what fans were looking for.
Yeah.
They wanted to bring it. They wanted to remind, hey, remember when this thing was good and when you liked it and it made you feel good? That we're going to do this again, know. And at the time, it was the smart thing to do. But then, in the very next movie, all the things that they set up were completely just set into catastrophe mode
by Sir Ruin.
Yes, and I don't know how those things. I don't know how many people signed off on that. Was it just KK, or was there a committee of people? This is what happens when you surround yourself by yes men. You don't have people challenging your decisions. You should have a committee of people saying, you know what, Kathleen, this might not be a great idea. Maybe we should do another draft on this script.
Yeah,
you can't tell me that movie did well with test audiences. I don't even think they did test audiences with Last Jedi. There's no fucking way that test audiences would have accepted that.
People would have fucking been like, what? There would have been.
Or if they did, they specifically picked people for the test audience that had no prior knowledge of Star Wars when they walked in there.
Yeah, what do you think of this? This is Star Wars. Well,
In another argument that comes up too, Pete, that drives me crazy. It's like, well, the fans, they don't even know what they want anymore. They just hate it no matter what. Now, there are a large group of people that are like that, I believe. I'm willing to give this franchise another chance if they start respecting the fans. I'm not expecting them to come out and give us an apology. We're never going to fucking get that.
No.
But if you at least start, you're going to see Mandalorian tonight, I assume. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to watch it tonight.
If you say that's what we've been looking for, then I believe you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to just shit on it just because it exists. Yeah. Am I going to sign up for Disney Plus? Hell to the fuck no. But I'll entertain looking into Mandalorian and giving it a chance if you say that it's worth my time.
Oh yeah, and if it's bad, I'll call it out and I'll say, hey, look, I didn't like it. You can like it, but I didn't like it.
We want things to be good, but at the same time, and this is another argument I've gotten into people on my YouTube channel so much, and the more they argue with me, the more it fuels me to keep going, because I have a point. I believe I have a point when I say if the trailer's not good, usually the movie's not good either.
Yep.
Because the trailer it's like going to a grocery store and they give you a sample, a little cup of salad, and you eat it and it tastes like bird food and tastes like shit. The rest of the bag's probably going to be bad too.
Yeah.
And usually it is.
Yep.
That's how that works. The trailer is a sample. And in fact, nowadays the trailer practically is a condensed version of the movie. It's like, let's sum up the movie in 2 minutes. Well, here you go. Oh, you didn't like the trailer? Well, I'm sure you'll love the movie. And then they'll do like the second or third trailer and they show absolutely everything. So then when you go in, you're like, wow, that was all that movie had to offer, huh? Hellboy.
Yeah. All you get is, well, you just don't know what you want then.
Yep.
You don't know what you want.
And that frustrates me too. And it's like they give up on you. It's like they're, you would have a James Mangold Boba Fett movie, but because we didn't go see Solo, which was a stupid idea from its concept,
yep,
we're punished. Well, we're just going to cancel all the Star Wars stories then. Like, really? You only did 2 of them.
Yeah.
And the second one was dog shit. The first one did really well. And in fact, I enjoyed it. And I don't actually mind going back and watching that one again. I think it was done very well. It's a shame that it took multiple directors to make it work. But for the things in the movie that don't work, we enjoy the rest of it. It's like I was hoping we'd get more entertainment similar to that. Mm-hmm. A Han Solo backstory with some other idiot that was not what I was wanting. I'm like,
Alden Peckerwood.
I'm sorry if I have, expectations when it comes to movies, and that's why I'm part of this fandom menace, because I don't believe in brand loyalty. I think that you have to make a good product all of the time. You should at least strive to make every product better, if not as good as the one that comes before it.
That is absolutely correct, my man. That's what you want as a consumer, and you ask that from the people that you give your hard-earned money to, is just give us something good. We're not asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars. It's
like you like Coke, you like Pepsi. We don't want you to pour a bunch of extra water in it and start adding mineral water into in taking the caffeine out and all this kind of stuff. We just want you to give us more of what we love. That's all I'm asking. I don't like Disney as a company, but it's unfortunate that they own probably 3/4 of the shit that we care about.
Yeah, and that's terrifying.
It's a shame. It sucks. The only thing you can look for is the hope that maybe somebody out there listening to this podcast right now is working on something that you think that we'll like. And you have the balls to go out and make something wholly original, because you like fans, you know what kind of stuff works, and you want to actually go out and make something. I would love to do that someday. I like to go out and instead of just sitting here bitching about how bad entertainment is, actually go out and make something that entertains people. I try to do that with my videos, man. It's like this is bad news, but we can make jokes about it.
Yep. Absolutely, man.
That's why you and I do that all the time. We'll joke about it because it's so fucking depressing. It's like the least we can do is make jokes about it and somehow hope that maybe this stuff course corrects itself over time.
Absolutely. That's it. That's the fingers crossed. That's what we hope for. And that's the goal.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
I'm willing to give it another chance. Like I said, I don't want to sign up for Disney Plus because fuck all that. But if they can somehow find some success again with the Mandalorian, cool.
Yep.
I'm not shitting on it before it comes out.
Yep.
I liked the trailer. All right, it looks interesting. You're probably looking forward to it. I'm sure.
God, I'm stoked. I wish I was watching it.
I'm a little skeptical, but that's just the way I am. I'm the cynical cyborg. You know, I'm always a cynic. I'm always like, where's the catch? You know, that's just the way I am, because I've been honey dick just as many times as you have. You know,
exactly.
You can't fool me that many times. You know.
Yep. So that looks like a good place to kind of leave this one off here. We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes, and this has been a great morning show today. I'm really happy with the show today.
It's therapeutic.
It is. It truly is. Thank you for joining me, Groove.
Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And tomorrow night we will be working together once again over on Goober Brothers Entertainment for episode 2 of The Boardroom with myself, Groovinator, Cody from Goober Brothers Entertainment, and I think Sal will be on tomorrow night. I'm not sure if he's
Sal's not going to make this Wednesday show.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So,
he was on last.
So
Monday,
we had Sal. We fortunately had. It was like
yes.
an impromptu board meeting last night.
Yep.
It wasn't planned that way.
It just happened.
Originally supposed to be Loudy, and Loudy got in trouble, so drove in a ditch. So he couldn't make it. So yeah, the boardroom, Pete blew the horn, and then we came. Avengers assembled. Yeah.
So yeah, man.
We came to your aid, sir.
I was very happy. Like I said, I was planning on you being on with me and Loudy, and then like I said, real last minute, Sal and Cody joined us, and I really appreciate that, man.
That's how we roll, man. That's how we take care of each other. And also, you're going to be with me Friday.
Yes, sir.
I'm about 80% sure that MJ will be with us too.
Awesome. That'll be a fun show.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun show. It's going to be, but that show is going to be a little different from our usual stuff. I'm going to try to turn that into like more of a variety show. Like
I'm happy with that.
I'm going to cherry pick all of the funniest topics that we covered all week.
Yes.
And then we'll just riff on that. And then if I can get enough attention towards that channel, I'll start having guests on there. Like think of like Saturday Night Live. Hey, our special guest tonight, Fatal J, or anybody else that's watching that show that wants to be a part of it, reach out to me. I would love to have guests on there, like have different kinds of guests. MJ will probably be there when she can. So, but yeah, you for sure.
Yes.
And then eventually I'll probably have a co-host that'll give you your Friday nights back with your,
I don't mind after we stop doing the other Friday night show. My wife's like, "What the hell are you doing out here? Shouldn't you be streaming?"
Now I can't get rid of you.
Yep, I told her, I says, I'm going to be on Groove Show on Friday night. She's like, "Oh, okay, cool." I'm like, "Yeah, you can watch your shows on Friday night. You watch your."
I had the same problem, man. It's like that's why I decided to do a Friday show, because every time you and I have gone live, it's always been the wrong time of day, or in the afternoon during the week when people are working, they ain't got time to watch that and they want to participate. So I'm like, well, if I do Friday night, because I don't do anything on Friday night.
I don't either.
At my age, it's like I used to so look forward to Fridays, and now it's just like, well, it's Friday.
Yep.
That means
just another day.
The day after Thursday and the day before Saturday.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I'll do the show on Friday night, because I need something to occupy my time.
Same here, man. I'm happy. There you go. That.
Grindhouse a Go-Go, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Raise Law Slicks channel. Me and ETEP.
Right. And be sure to go subscribe to Darth Tico's channel, as he'll be reviewing The Mandalorian tonight. I'm going
to do that right now, actually.
Yep. I think I'm not sure if I did, but I will. And that being said, this has been About Last Night, episode 12. Be sure, if you're not a subscriber already, subscribe to YouTube, my channel, ETEPOKUIAN's the place to be. Reviews. We're at 116 subscribers now, trying to grow the channel more. We can give you guys more content. I have to get to work on my Walking Dead review. I'm going to go watch the episode right now, type up a review, put a video together for you guys, and you'll have another single release coming out.
Imagine that, something you actually want to watch.
Yes, I'm excited. Finally get to watch something good. So this has been About Last Night. I'm ETEPOKUIAN signing out for the Groovinator.
Bye, everybody.
I threw a rock at it. Remember, if I don't see you, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow.
I rock your world.
Bye.